Hello everyone, welcome to Logic Medico where you are understanding the concepts in medicine. Today's interesting topic is transverse arch. This is one among the three arches of the foot. There is a medial longitudinal arch in the foot towards the great toe side. For kind of information, toe is not involved in the arch. And towards the little toe side there is a lateral longitudinal arch. Medial longitudinal arch is much higher than the lateral longitudinal arch, which is a shallower one. Medial is summit of which is very high. Connecting the medial margin of the foot to the lateral margin of the foot, there is one arch like this, that's called the transverse arch. Transverse arch. So these transverse arch, if I take a cut section of the metatarsals near closer to the head where it's touching the ground, it's called the anterior transverse arch. If you take a cut section next to the base of the metatarsals or towards the cuneiforms, then this is what I will see. This is the posterior transverse arch. The posterior transverse arch is incomplete on each side. See, it's incomplete. Only with the other posterior transverse arch it will become complete. Whereas if I take a cut section here there's one complete transverse arch. This is a leg, and this is the foot. So there is a complete transverse arch, anterior transverse arch on both sides. Whereas posterior transverse arch is incomplete on one side, it will become complete only if you put the other feet together, then it will become a complete arch. With this concept, let us see what are the stones, pillars, tie beams, intersegmental tiers and slings with respect to transverse arch. Stones, in engineering term, the stones, there are multiple stones in an arch. One of the major stone is wedge shape, it's called the keystone. Removal of this stone results in collapse of this arch. Pillar, that portion of the stone which is touching the ground will be called as a pillar. Tie beam, connecting the pillar to one another, interlocking one another, is called the tie beam because it's tying the beams together. Okay. Then connecting one stone to the other is called as intersegmental tiers. Then holding this from above, these thread-like structures are called the slings. So here, when compared to this with the medical stuff, is we have the anterior transverse arch on one side and the posterior transverse arch on the other side. Posterior transverse arch. This is the anterior transverse arch. Now let's see one by one. So what are the stones? Here they are the bones. They are the head of the metatarsals. All the 5 metatarsals heads will be there. So this is a cut section, so I'm just writing the bone marrow inside that. Okay. This is the first metatarsal and this is the 5th metatarsal. All the 5 will be there here. What is the bones? Each of these metatarsal, as it comes down, it will be like this. It will be wedge shape. Okay. So that is a key bone. It is a complete arch and it is a rounded bony factor will be a contributing factor. The pillar is the part which is touching the ground. That is the head of the first metatarsal and head of the 5th metatarsal is a major pillar. In fact, other heads also will touch and that will also form a pillar. The intersegmental tiers and the tie beams are the interossei muscles. I'm talking of intersegmental tiers here. They are the interossei muscle, especially the dorsal interossei because they are bipinnate muscles. So dorsal interossei. Whereas the tie beams are the ligaments, deep transverse ligaments, deep transverse metatarsal ligaments are the tie beams, and also the anterior portion of plantar aponeurosis, and one muscle called as adductor hallucis because it has got an oblique head. So this oblique head will go like this, adductor hallucis, and then attached like this. So this adductor hallucis, okay, and this deep transverse metatarsal ligament are the tie beams. Moving on to the sling, coming from lateral aspect, the sling will be from the lateral aspect. The sling is a muscle, so I'll just take the other color. Peroneus longus from lateral aspect. Peroneus longus. From the medial aspect or from the posterior aspect, we can call from posterior and medial aspect. Tibialis posterior. Tibialis posterior. So to summarize, the anterior transverse arch, the head of the 1st to 5th metatarsals from the anterior transverse arch. It is a complete arch. It is rounded in shape. These are the heads I have shown in diagrammatic way from 1st to 5th metatarsals. And the tie beams are the adductor hallucis muscle, this one, and the anterior part of plantar aponeurosis and deep transverse metatarsal ligament. The The intersegmental tires are the introche, especially the dorsal introche, because they are bipinnate muscles. They are like a coconut tree leaf. They are like this from both the metatarsals. They are the intersegmental tires. The slings from the lateral aspect is peroneus longus, supplied by superficial peroneal nerve, and from the medial aspect or the posterior medial aspect is tibialis posterior, supplied by tibial nerve. This is about the anterior transverse arch. Moving on to the posterior transverse arch, nothing much about that, but still I will complete it. The posterior transverse arch is formed by the base of the metatarsals, all the 5 metatarsals, base of the metatarsals, all metatarsals. The 3 cuneiforms, one navicular, but it is an incomplete arch. As already mentioned, it's an incomplete arch because you can see it's not touching the ground. The second and third shafts and the base will not touch the ground, so it's an incomplete arch on one side. Together it forms complete arch because each half of the dome from each leg, the lower part of the feet we can see here, and together when the feet are placed together it forms a complete arch. And each of these are wedge shaped. The cuneiforms are wedge shaped, the shaft are wedge shaped, so that itself is a keystone. Again, the metatarsals are interconnected with one another. The intersegmental tires I'm talking of is again dorsal introche. It can be plantar also, but dorsal introche, since they are bipinnate, they are the intersegmental tires. They are holding the metatarsals in place. Okay, and then the sling is again the same structures. So what is the same structures? From the lateral aspect it is peroneus longus, supplied by superficial peroneal nerve. From the posterior medial aspect it is tibialis posterior. They are from the sling, peroneus longus. To summarize, posterior transverse arch, it is present near the bases of metatarsals, the 3 cuneiforms in the navicular. It is an incomplete arch on each side. It becomes complete only when the feet of the opposite side is placed next to the other feet. Then it becomes complete because each of semi-dome. Each of these bones are wedge shaped, so they are keystones. They are interlocked with one another by dorsal introche muscle, which is acting like a staple or the intersegmental tire. Then the tie beam, I forgot to tell you the tie beam. The tie beam are intertarsal ligament and tarsometatarsal. This is intertarsal ligaments. Intertarsal ligament and tarsometatarsal ligaments. Also the flexor hallucis brevis. The slings are peroneus longus on the lateral aspect. This is a sling supplied by superficial peroneal nerve, peroneus longus, and tibialis posterior from the posterior medial aspect supplied by tibial nerve, that is a sling. So this transverse arch helps in the adaptation of these bones while walking on an uneven surface, therefore helps in dynamicity of the foot. Thank you for watching and learning from Logic Medico. If you are new to our channel, kindly consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to press the thumbs up icon to show that you like this video, and share this video with other friends. Kindly like this video and share this video with your other friends. Thank you once again. Have a good day. Bye.